multiplication arithmetic. Identify common factors, multiples and prime numbers. Let's recap. A factor is any whole number that can be multiplied by another to form a product or a multiple. Factor times factor equals product. So for example, 3 times 6 equals 18. 3 is a factor of 18. 6 is a factor of 18. And 18 is a multiple of 3 and also a multiple of 6. Two factors that multiply together to form a product are often called a factor pair. So 3 times 6 is a factor pair of 18. A product can have multiple factors and factor pairs. For example, 1 times 18 equals 18. 1 and the number itself are factors of all whole numbers. 2 times 9 equals 18. And 3 times 6 equals 18. So the factors of 18 are 1, 2, 3, 6, 9 and 18. Let's recap prime numbers. A prime number is a whole number greater than 1 that can only be exactly divided by itself and 1. A prime number only has two factors, 1 and itself. So for example, 1 times 13 equals 13. There are no other factors in 13. 1 times 13 is the only factor pair of 13. Remember the prime numbers below 30. They are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 27 and 29. It can help to remember these. What about common factors? Common factors are factors shared between two or more given numbers. For example, 5 is a common factor of 10, 15 and 50. It's a factor of all three of these numbers. Because 5 times 2 equals 10, 5 times 3 equals 15, and 5 times 10 equals 50. 10, 15 and 50 are therefore all multiples of 5. The highest common factor is the largest factor shared between two given numbers. For example, the highest common factor of 8 and 20 is 4. It's the largest number that both numbers can be divided by without remainders. First, find the factors of both numbers. So for 8, 1 times 8 is 8. So we'll put the 1 and the 8, that's the smallest and the largest factor. Then 2 times 4 equals 8. So 1, 2, 4 and 8 are all the factors of 8. What about 20? 1 times 20 is 20, the largest and the smallest factor. 2 times 10 is 20. 3's don't go into 20, so that's not a factor. 4 times 5 is 20. So the factors of 20 are 1, 2, 4, 5, 10 and 20. The highest common factor of both numbers is therefore 4. What about common multiples? Common multiples are multiples shared between two or more given numbers. For example, 12 is a common multiple of 2, 3 and 4. It's a multiple of all three numbers. We can see that 12 equals 2 times 6. 12 also equals 3 times 4, or 4 times 3 using the commutative law. 2, 3, 4 and 6 are therefore all factors of 12, as well as 1 and 12 itself. The lowest common multiple is the smallest multiple shared between two or more numbers. For example, the lowest common multiple of 8 and 6 is 24. It's the smallest number that both numbers share as a multiple. Let's look at the number 8. 1 times 8 is 8. 2 times 8 is 16. 3 times 8 is 24. 4 times 8 is 32. Now let's look at the number 6. 1 times 6 is 6, 2 times 6 is 12, 3 times 6 is 18, 4 times 6 is 24. We're looking for the lowest common multiple. We can see that it is 24. So 3, 4, 6 and 8 are therefore all factors of 24. What is the highest common factor of 45 and 60? What's the question asking you to do? Find the factors for each number first of all. So for the number 45, 1 and the number itself is a factor, so 1 is the smallest and 45 is the biggest. Then 2's don't go into 45. 3 times 15 is 45, they're the next factors. 4's don't go into 45. 5 times 9 is 45. You can check 6 doesn't go into 45, neither does 7 and neither does 8. So we can see these are the factors of 45. What about 60? So the biggest and the smallest is 1 times 60. Then we have 2 times 30, 3 times 20, 4 times 15, 5 times 12, and 6 times 10. 7, 8 and 9 don't divide into 60 exactly. So now we've got the factors of both of the numbers. Which is the highest factor that they both have in common? We look across all the factors and we can see the highest one they both have in common is 15. So the answer equals 15. What is the lowest common multiple of 6 and 12? What's the question asking you to do? It's find the multiples of each number. So the number 6 multiples are 1 times 6 is 6, 2 times 6 is 12, 3 times 6 is 18, 4 times 6 is 24. Now let's look at 12. 1 times 12 is 12, 2 times 12 is 24. The question is asking which is the lowest multiple they both have in common, so the lowest number. We can see the lowest number is 12, so the answer equals 12. Is 8 a common factor of 128 and 72? What's the question asking you to do? Work out if 8 is a factor of both numbers. First, let's look at 128. Does 8 divide exactly into 128? 8's into 1 is 0, we carry the 1 forward. 8's into 12 is 1 with a remainder of 4. And 8's into 48 is 6. No remainders. So we can see that 8 times 16 is 128. 8 is a factor of 128. What about the number 72? 8's into 72. 8's into 7 is 0. We carry the 7 forward. 8's into 72 is our times tables. 9 8's are 72. 8 times 9 equals 72. So 8 is a factor of 72. So the answer is yes. 8 is a common factor of both 128 and 72. What is the lowest prime number above 15? What's the question asking you to do? Find the first prime number that is bigger than 15. So let's count up from 15. 16. Is 16 a prime number? No, it's not. The next number, 17. Is 17 a prime number? Yes, it is. So the next lowest prime number above 15 equals 17. Remember, a factor is any whole number that can be multiplied by another to form a product or a multiple. Two factors that multiply together to form a product are often called a factor pair. A prime number only has two factors, 1 and itself. Common factors are factors shared between two or more given numbers. The highest common factor is the largest factor shared between two given numbers. For example, the highest common factor for 8 and 20 is 4. Common multiples are multiples shared between two or more given numbers. The lowest common multiple is the smallest multiple shared between two or more numbers. For example, the lowest common multiple of 8 and 6 is 24.